Okay, so one more activity. I want you to pull it out, your phone or your papers, okay? Good Lord, okay? Keep it together, okay? And real quickly, I want you to write down two things. I want you to just think for a second, okay, of the biggest challenge that you can think of in your life. The biggest challenge that you can think of that you've experienced in your life, write it down. Give me some more thoughtful music. And then also number two, I want you to identify how that was a blessing. What's the biggest challenge you faced? And I also want you to couple it with, how was that actually a blessing? How was that actually a blessing? I'll give you a couple minutes to get that done. Hey, let's give it up for Lenny. My man. Oh, turn it on for her. Check. Mic 2, mic 12. There we go.
So my biggest challenge was hiking the Grand Canyon rim to rim in 24 hours. And it was not recommended. There have been people who've died doing this. There's not rails. It's very steep. People get, too close to the edge and fall over. My sister and I did it. She's from California where there are mountains and you can practice with elevation. I'm from Texas, not so much. But for me, it was the biggest challenge because, you go down 45 degrees and then you go across what they call the box, which is 4 sides of mountains, no shade. They do have water along the trail, but it's like every 5 to 7 miles. It's more than 25 miles, and you go down through the box and up, and it's 10,000 feet in elevation from bottom to top. So what that taught me is I can do hard things, and, when you're in it, the spiders started coming out at night. We started at 4 in the morning, and we got in at 10 p.m., and the big spiders started coming out. My sister's like, you want me to get the donkeys to come down and pick you up? I'm like, I don't need a donkey. I'm getting out of this canyon.
I love it.
But it taught me that I can do things that seem impossible in the moment when you're struggling to get out of the canyon. Mm-hmm. It taught me I can do that. I can do hard things. So.
Rewired it. Yep, give it a round of applause for sure. We'll go one more, Haley. One more. Hey, give it up. Yeah, Haley, yep. Give it up for Haley.
So I think for me, I'm only 23, so I'm a little bit younger. And in my generation, healthy relationships aren't really valued, honestly. And with my fiance, his parents passed away when he was young. I've lost my mom. Both of us had divorced parents, and we never had that example of like a good relationship. So trying to build that healthy relationship on our own has been such a challenge. But now, we've come so far, and I just know that we really can do anything together because we got through that on our own. So, Sorry, I'm gonna get emotional.
No, you're good, Haley. Give that a round of applause. Hey, give your wife a hug right there. Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. I've never spoken in a public setting before
in
my life.
Hey,
so.
It's Braden. Let's go, it's Braden, my man. Hey, Braden. First time speaking in public.
Yes, sir.
Hey, don't fuck it up, bro. I don't.
Okay. So, yes. It has been an absolute challenge coming from my background. I didn't grow up in a healthy setting at all. So my biggest challenge has been overcoming the struggle I lost my mom when I was 13. She passed away from cancer. And then my dad, I was just in an abusive relationship, and I had actually run away when I was 15. I was homeless for 1 year, and then I got emancipated on my 16th birthday, and then soon after that, I lost my dad to suicide. And so being at such a young age and learning to overcome everything, I pretty much lost everybody in my life that I had close to me. It changed me in a way that I had to learn to see a different perspective of life that I didn't think that I would ever have to do at that young of an age. And now I've just been following how life has been taking me. I learned the name of multifamily mindset just a little bit over a month ago. I didn't even know what any of this was. And I've just been going. I have just been going at it full force, just week in a week. I did not, a month ago, I did not see myself here at all. and now I am, and this has just been an entirely life-changing perspective of me. I never knew that a community like this existed, or there was somebody building one. I was searching for that my whole life, and now I finally found my family.
I love it, bro. I love that, man. My man. Thanks for being here, bro. Yeah. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. Hey, give it up for Braden. Give it up for Braden. Okay. This is how we're going to wrap it up. Perspective. It's perspective. Any challenge that we come up against, any trial that we hit, anything that we face, it's all perspective. All of it. How we get through it. Remember I gave you a framework called the Think Bigger framework. The event, the circumstance, the situation. And then we have two decisions. At the most basic level, we have two decisions. We either choose a perspective that is serving, and we progress, or we choose a perspective that is not serving and we don't progress. We get angry, we get bitter, and we will stay in that trauma until we choose a different what? Say perspective. Until we choose a different perspective. So, what did I say? Okay, will y'all keep it up? Say, choose a different perspective right now, every day when you hit a challenge. Say it again. Say that shit. Okay? Listen, that's all it is, though. So if you're stuck in the mud, then choose a different perspective. Now, how can this be a blessing? That's a question you need to ask yourself. The story that I tell myself, you heard David Goggins talk about games a lot, yes or no? It's because this is a game, dude. Life is a game. Business is a game. Raising capital is a game. Multifamily, it's a game. What's the game that you're playing? How do you, for me, here's the three basic components of a story. Write this down, okay? Three basic components of a story will help you understand because you're writing your own what? Say story. Three basic components. Number one is called normal. Normal. Step two is explosion. Disruption, explosion, number two. Number three, new normal. One, normal. Two, explosion. Three, new normal. That's every story that is a good story has those three components. Imagine if Jamie just stood up here and said, you know what, I became a billionaire and I didn't have any problems and trials and God, it was fantastic. How inspiring would that story be? It would not be inspiring. If Goggins was like, hey man, yeah, new life was phenomenal. No challenges, I'm just super strong, I can do lots of pull-ups. It comes naturally, actually. It would not be inspiring. It would not be impactful. If you are here to be impactful, say I. Which means you need challenges in your journey, which means the next time a challenge comes up and you start to complain about the challenge, think bigger and choose a new perspective, please. Think bigger and choose a new perspective. One that is serving to the journey that you're on, to the outcome that you're pursuing. It's perspective. Our perspective drives our performance. That's what it is, perspective. Number two, energy. Energy. Say energy. See, one thing that David Goggins said as well that I thought was very powerful is he said, hey, when you're in the mud, when shit is hard, when shit is challenging, I want you to bring that same energy. Not just in environments like this when it's like, dude, it's a bitchin' environment, but when things are tough, when things are challenging, when things are hard, because that's the only way that you're gonna make an impact. Say impact. Is your energy. Nothing grows, write this down. Write this down and remember it, circle it, underline it. Nothing grows without energy. Nothing grows without energy. But where do a lot of us put our energy towards? The problem, the trial, the setback, the challenge. I'll tell you how I gamify it. How I gamify it is when a challenge arises, I'm like, guys, it's gonna be a great story. Woo-wee! This is going to be an amazing story. When I can overcome this, it's going to be an amazing story. I love stories. I love telling stories. I love creating a story. What's the story? Man, this is going to be a blessing. Man, this is going to be an amazing story. It's perspective, it's energy. You put energy towards the story, especially in the explosion. Lots of people can put energy and have a good perspective in the normal or new normal. It's easy, things are going great. But when that explosion happens, that's the most important time to have a perspective of trained optimism. Write that down too. Trained optimism. You literally train yourself to be optimistic. You train yourself to be optimistic. No matter what the challenge is, no matter what the setback, no matter what the situation, the trial, whatever it is, I'm going to train myself to be optimistic by choosing the right perspective and moving towards the outcome that I'm pursuing, the outcome that I've committed to. So, 1, perspective, say perspective. 2, energy, say energy. 3, attention. Who said it? Attention, say attention. Which is kind of your attitude, right? That is. What are you bringing attention to? Once again, are you bringing attention to the solutions? Are you bringing attention to just the problems and sitting in those? We need to be very certain where we're placing our attention. Life, this journey is challenging. You know what makes it more challenging? Not knowing what the fuck we're pursuing and why we're doing it. If you're just out there and you're just freaking, last year I talked about be the buffalo. And I told you that cows, when a storm comes, they lay down in the storm, but a buffalo does what? Runs through it. They don't lay down, they don't run from it, they run through it. But some of y'all just run around in the storm. You don't run from it, you don't run through it, you just run in it like a bunch of dipshits. Me too. Me too. Let's not run in the storm. Let's not run away from the storm and continue to expose ourselves even longer to the storm. Let's just fully attack that storm. Whatever makes us feel uncomfortable, whatever's creating that doubt, fully attack it.